guys, my name is Ajara. I'm a student of International Relations. Due to the current situation with coronavirus and quarantine, many of us are practicing a distance learning. So our professor asked us to make a video presentation, and that's why in this video I will talk about history, about the Second World War and the results. The topic not randomly, but there is an important reason. The reason is that in this year it will be 75 years after the end of the war, and everyone must remember how this devastating war ended, what were the results, and most importantly, what is the lesson from the past. Let's start with the data. Let's answer an important question: when the Second World War ended. So some of you might say that it ended in May 1945, but you'd be wrong, because actually in May 1945 only Nazi Germany declared its defeat. Officially, the Second World War ended in September 2nd in 1945 after Japan declared its surrender. But in some sources you need to remember that it is 1st of September. So another important question that you might ask is how the world looked after the war, how Germany recovered, what was with the USSR, Italy and other great powers. So in order to answer this question, we need to turn back in timeline of the history. In February 4th, 1945, it's an important event in world history, because in these days there was a global, not the global, but World Summit, Yalta Conference, where the leaders of allied powers of Great Britain, United States and USSR met each other in order to discuss the future, how these countries will be dealing with Germany. They talked about the creation of a new organization that is now a United Nations. They talked about a voting procedure. Because in that time a League of Nations really failed, and they wanted not to repeat mistakes again. And discussed how they will divide Germany. Now I will show you a map that shows Europe in 1945 and how Eastern Europe was divided. In that map you can see that Germany was divided into 4 parts. Northwestern part was occupied by Great Britain, southwestern part was occupied by France, who were in one bloc, they were in NATO, and western part just was occupied by Western countries, eastern part was occupied by USSR.
I watched workmen supervised by troops putting the finishing touches to the cement curtain through which no East German can pass.
If One day you'd ask a question why Eastern Europe countries fell under the communism. One theory could help you to explain this phenomena. It's called domino theory. It was a popular metaphor in that times. It means that if one country fell under the communism, then the neighbor country could also fall under the chain of reaction, like a row of falling dominoes. Okay, let's move to another section. Let's answer to a question: what was the system of the world in that time? You know that the world before the war was in a multipolar system when a lot of countries could have been to take control over the power. But after the Second World War, our world started to exist in bipolar system. Bipolar means that there were existing only two countries, two blocks. They took control over others. I think that other countries like Great Britain, France or China, they just joined any bloc. So France, Great Britain were allies of United States, and China was ally of USSR. And finally, a Cold War started. It's a really popular term in international relations because the Cold War lasted since 1945 until 1991, until the Soviet Union dissolution. And it's really important, Cold War, because it is direct result of the war. It's first result. Second result is the creation of United Nations. So Cold War, it's really interesting topic. It needed to explain this war in another part. Actually, Cold War was a competition between two countries. Also, after the Second World War, a lot of agreements started to work. For example, Geneva Convention, Vienna Convention, a lot of United Nations conventions, and all of that conventions, agreements were about peace and a prevention of another Third World War. And a really dangerous time, because in 1962 there was a Cuban crisis when really the Third World War might have been happened.